This is Cherie''s favorite part. You're not gonna gag this time, are you?
I hope not. Oof.
Got a whiff?
Oof.
That's gonna get wrapped up inside. You okay?
Nope. It's disgusting. So I will put that down here below. Except not yet. There's no room. Where can I put this? There's no room anywhere.
Pull on it too tight, you can damage your hose. The kitchen.
Oh, you sprung a leak.
Well, there we go. I guess that's why you don't want to stretch your hose. I mean, your hose is made to stretch, isn't it?
Guess what?
What?
We're not in a Walmart parking lot.
We aren't?
Surprise.
We are here today to do our complete campsite breakdown. We're going to tear everything down, pack it up, and pull out of here. I'm Tom. I'm Tom.
And I'm Cherie. And I'm Cherie. And we're Enjoy the Journey.
And this is EnjoyTheJourney.Life. Our channel is all about RV living
And traveling full time.
You know, we're sad to leave because
Yeah, this has been so nice. Snorkeling right here with the fish. All you see is water out the windows. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. But we're gonna give you a detailed explanation and show you step by step what we do when we are breaking down for a travel day.
plus some variations if you have a full hookup campsite, which this is not. We will be doing a dump station on this one.
Right. And also know that this process takes about 4 hours, but we're going to be speeding this up and making it and condensing it as short as we can possibly do it for you.
Can we do it faster than we did the setup video?
I wish.
And if you are brand new to our channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there.
And ring that little bell.
That way you'll be notified when we release a brand new video.
Hey, and be sure to join us on our other platforms. We are on Pinterest and Facebook and Instagram and Twitter.
And the links will all be below in the description. And Cherie and I do have a very large fifth wheel RV, and that is going to be different from like a motorhome, so you will adjust what you need to do with your particular RV. But there are a lot of things that are very similar, and like the previous video, I will be developing a checklist, and you can sign up below with the link, and we will send you an email out where you can download the checklist for free.
So we're going to take you through all the steps of all the things that we do to get ready for a move.
Right, first we got to start inside here. There's all of our stuff, kitchen stuff, computers, personal items, shoes.
So much stuff, and it's time consuming, so come along for the process. It's fun.
Watch us move our stuff.
Not my favorite.
So while Cherie is cleaning on the inside here, I'm gonna go ahead and step outside and get started on our outdoor fun stuff here. Lights, chairs, snorkeling equipment, that kind of stuff.
Okay, so this is the reality of when you don't have full hookups and you have to conserve water, and you do kind of a batch cleaning. So we end up throwing our dishes all in, and we get to do them all at one time.
Whoa, it's getting hot out here. Most of the outdoor stuff is done.
So guess what it's time for?
Yeah.
The stowaway process is huge.
Yes, we've got all this stuff on counters.
Yep, everything on counters have to come off the counters. Anything loose has to be stowed away properly.
Right, we've got to sweep the floor, make sure there's no debris, so when we bring the slides in, there's no issues with that.
Right.
Check all the cabinets, make sure they are closed.
So we have to make sure all cabinets are snapped shut. These aren't like regular house cabinets. They actually have a snap with them that's shut. This is not shut, so see, it's got to snap shut so it doesn't open up during the travel process and things fall out and be all over the floor.
And we've got to disconnect our Wi-Fi device right here. I don't want this ending up down somewhere where it doesn't belong. I will leave the antenna right here because that's suction cupped on here. And a quick tip, we do move this around as needed to find the best Wi-Fi around, but we will unplug and stow this guy right here.
So this lamp is actually multifunctional. We don't really have lamps in RVs because they will, if they're not secured, they will fall off. So what we did is we found this one and it holds all our corks from great memories. So I got this lamp and I decided to Velcro it with some industrial Velcro to this spot right here. It does move a little bit, but it stays put, so I'm happy about that. Just as a reinforcement precautionary measure, I'm going to use this pillow and stuff it right here. That way it doesn't fall down into this slide, because this slide will be extended right here, which we can't see this inside portion from the door. So when we take the slide back out, there's nothing stuck back here.
TV remotes, really simply, a little stash in here.
Oh, and what is that book, Tom?
Oh, I don't know.
Fans on Fire. Who wrote that?
Who wrote that? Oh my gosh, how about that? Just for our reading pleasure right here. So you can pick up a copy.
We read it every night, don't we?
On Amazon. Yeah.
All right, you have to do the same thing in the kitchen. You have to make sure all the cabinets are, that one's good, good. That one needs to be shut. All right, drawers. Don't forget to do drawers. Make sure these are all pushed in tight. Even the refrigerator, you want to make sure that it is latched properly. We have had it swing open, and as you can see, we have a little dent from where it hit the counter over here when the slide was pulled in. So make sure everything is stowed away, shut completely. Turning the air conditioning off. No, it's 100 degrees outside.
Oh yeah, we are going to keep some AC running while we're doing this because it is so hot outside we would be melting in here. So apologize for that little rumble. So bathroom is pretty straightforward. And if you remember in part 1 of the complete RV campground setup, we had to unlatch that, so we will latch that right there so this will stay this way and doesn't slide back and forth and cause issues. The only other thing we need to do in here, we have an extra tension rod in here. It rides fine. Sometimes it falls down, but it's not a big deal. It doesn't actually fall all the way down. Keeps our towels drying while we're on the road. What we'll do in here is simply take the items that are sitting up here and put them down in the bottom of the shower. Whoops. That way, what will happen is they're going to fall down and move around. Not a big deal, but they're on the floor. We don't get any breakage or any leaking or anything from them falling down on the floor. Oh, these two?
Everything falls in RVs. That's a thing. Everything falls in RVs. It seems like even when you're level, things are always falling down. And one thing I do that I don't even know if Tom does this, but before we go on a trip, I like to come in here and put my lid on my toothbrush, just because everything ends up falling down when we're traveling. And if you don't have one of these, you gotta have one. It's my favorite thing ever, ever, ever.
What is that called?
Link below.
A tongue scraper?
It's a tongue scraper. I use it twice a day. I love it. Stuff gets stuck in your little tongue grooves and everything, so you just scrape. It's better than brushing your tongue. Get one. It's awesome.
Yeah, I like mine.
Yeah, nothing can be on the counter over here either. So we throw everything in the sink that's on the countertop. My retainers, I'll just throw in there. Stuff like that. And then make sure, of course, these are snapped as well. There we go. And we're good.
All right, awesome.
All right. Welcome to the boudoir. This is where the magic happens. The magic of sleep. Just kidding. Anyway, so what we do on moving day is I come in here and I make sure all of this is clear over here because the slides will be coming in and we have had a cord get stuck before and it's kind of messed up the slide a little bit. So you have to be really mindful. It's great to have a checklist of even all the little things that you need to do. So at night, after I do my meditation, I use these earphones. I get tired and I throw them on the floor. So they're always on the floor. So I make sure I get those, throw it on the bed because everything gets thrown on the bed. I also have an alarm clock plugged in and we have a secret outlet that's inside right here that a lot of people don't know about. Always look for your secret hiding spots in RVs. So I unplug that right here and I just toss it aside because all of this comes in. Oh, and I also have a little extra shelf up here that I'll pull down like that, throw on the bed.
Well, we kind of work on stuff together, and here's a tip. Double check each other's work. It's not to say someone forgot something. It's not about trying to start an argument or anything like that. It's about double checking that you have a safe ride and that nothing bad happens while you're traveling. Because, I mean, double check your work. I mean, it's very important. Like, here's one thing I'll start with here is you latch these doors down at the bottom. So we will pull this in and latch it. They're kind of stiff, kind of a pain. Double check that it's latched. We do have a washer and dryer. We are blessed to have that. We do have clothes here, but because we do not have full hookups, well, it's mostly, I guess, not clothes, but towels. We're gonna leave them here until we get to our next spot that has full hookups so that we can do laundry. But we're gonna wanna close this up nice and tight so that there's no issues and we can bring the slide all the way in right here. And we like to have all the curtains closed when we travel because it's hot. If they're closed, then we maybe keep a little bit of the heat out. And now this is mostly my junk that rides up here, and we're gonna unplug our salt light, Himalayan salt light. Will there be a link to this
of course,
on Amazon?
Of course.
This helps make the air fresh and clean to breathe. Why do we put all of our stuff on the bed? It is just a great spot because stuff does not slide off of here very easily. We will put something behind this so that doesn't crash into the mirror. But the bed is just a great place to put stuff as a catch-all. This right here.
Look at all of Tom's stuff. Oh my gosh.
This would slide across and fall like that while driving. We put it on the bed, it rides fine. And, well, this stuff is yours.
Oh, I have 3 things. Wow. Look at me.
So we'll place something right there.
Oh, so you're gonna make me do this? Okay. Oh, there we go.
I think I will take CHERI'S basket and stick it right here.
Oh, what you got there?
A few other, my duffel bag full of clothes.
What you got over there?
Just a few clothes.
Just a few things here and there.
A few clothing items.
Just a few things here and there. And that ugly scarf up there keeps the light out. Don't judge.
Oh, yeah.
And those are our vision boards that we wake up to every morning. Yay!
Yeah, I think one was hanging down on our complete setup if people were wondering what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our vision board. So
it's 100 degrees here. They were falling down.
yeah, it's very, very hot here. I think we had a heat index of 90 last night at 11 o'clock at night.
Yep.
Crazy. So one of the last things we need to do is to snap this door. It's very heavy and you don't want this to slide back and forth. There are 2 snaps and there we go. Now it won't snap.
Now it won't slide? Now it won't open.
Oh,
now it
right.
won't snap? What won't snap?
Now it won't slide open and come crashing down. like they have been known to do.
Yeah, and things you have on the walls, this is Velcro. Oh, I just broke it!
Well, you can see how good the Velcro holds.
The Velcro
then, huh?
works really good. Now it messed up the design. Now I have to poke all of them out. Well, anyway, you can't put nails in the walls, so everything has to be Velcroed, and use the industrial Velcro because it works really good.
It's like a cool little design.
Nice.
There.
Okay.
So there's number 50 on the RV repair list of things to fix.
It's not worth it. Just throw that away. Seriously. Can we turn the air on now?
Just about. Let me show one more thing here. So we'll start closing up all of the windows all the way through. We'll catch this one. And if you are using your antenna, which we did not, there's like really no TV down here in the Keys, at least different parts of it. You would crank this down. It is already down, so that is good to go.
As we continue to clean off countertops, I've washed dishes, and so I'm going to take everything out of here and stow that away. I also want to point out these are some great RV things, and the link will be below for these items. This is a collapsible colander. These are unbreakable. These are awesome. I think it's called Pyrex. I'm sure you've heard of it. These are also awesome. I baked some cookies yesterday. Yes, you can cook in your RV just like you cook in your home with a few little modifications. But these are also collapsible measuring cups, which are awesome, and we'll do the link below on that as well. Okay, and so glasses, of course, you don't want them riding where they can break. You can't just put them up in a cabinet. I mean, you could and take the chance, but we don't. We like to use these reusable wine bags from Whole Foods because they have little individual slots, and we slide all our glasses down there. We put wine glasses, any kind of juice glasses. It's just great to travel when they're protected, and then we can stow this away in a cabinet somewhere and not worry about dishes breaking. We haven't really had a problem with dishes breaking. We do have regular dishes up here, and they're pretty breakable, I would think. Wouldn't you say those are pretty breakable?
Yeah, I had very few things break along the way.
We really haven't had any problems. And the thing is about these plates is they're from the dollar store, so if they break, who cares? But it's nice to have some nice dishes besides paper plates and Pyrex sometimes to eat a really nice dinner off of. Maybe once a week we use them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like these, we use these every day. We love them. We have big salads every day. These are awesome. Big quinoa bowls, right?
And I think that's a tip that the less dishes, the better, actually. You can certainly have too many dishes if you put your whole household of dishes in the RV.
Yes, absolutely. And we have left this up here before, and it has slid down and fallen down here. So that's not good, so we find a place to stow that as well. This is actually fine riding up here. It doesn't move that much. It slides a little bit, but it's fine. We leave this up here. It's kind of grippy, and it's forward. As Thomas mentioned, everything goes forward, I guess, from breaking. So I do stow this away, our French press, best coffee ever. So obviously this can't ride on the counter, and it's super heavy. Although it's grippy and it may stay, I'm not risking this baby. This is like my love. I have a love affair with a Vitamix. I make all kinds of things in it. Hummus, we make good cocktails in it. Make soups, make all kinds of things. So what I do is I stow it in here where it won't go anywhere. Like that. And then there's no room for the pitcher, so I will put that down here below. So of course over here we have to take everything off the counter once again. So I will unplug everything like that and bring it down, and it rides on the floor up against the cabinets right here, and I still double check to make sure everything's shut. That becomes a habit. All right, so I have my little steamer basket in here. I shut this lid like so and put this down here on the floor. I'm gonna leave this open right here because Tom still needs to do stuff with the garbage. And then we have our little basket of goodies, which I kind of throw everything in there. It's convenient. We have our peanut butter out of the cabinet because we won't be able to reach it once the slide's in. And while we're traveling, we sometimes want to come in and make a quick lunch. And of course, peanut butter and jelly is the go-to, except I do strawberries and blueberries, and he uses jelly. So we kind of throw everything in there, a little rack, just kind of throw it up there like that. Little extra things up here, we just kind of like throw down here where they're not going to go anywhere. Potatoes down here, they can't stay there. They come over here, and also rugs have to be moved because the slide's coming in. And our little dish towels over here, hand towel, dish towel, come up and get thrown up here. Because the slide's gonna come in right here, and we don't want those falling and getting stuck in the slide. Yeah?
Yeah.
And here is a tip that I got on using the Instant Pot. And by the way, the Instant Pot to me is a must-have. We got it, what, about 2 years ago? Use it every day, sometimes a few times a day. So it's awesome, it does a lot. But a tip that I use when you release the pressure, steam goes everywhere. It's crazy, all the cabinets get wet. Somebody said throw a dish towel on top of it on the release, and so that's what that's for. And we do frequently use this space right here just to kind of keep bottles of some of our sipping goodies, our wine. We keep some wine glasses up here because they're frequently used. Is that appropriate? Our frequently used items go right here, and it's all our drinking stuff. Anyway, so we just want to make sure this is all clear because things will fall out, and it's just another space that we have to be mindful of.
And this is empty because we drank all the alcohol. Is that right?
Oh, also soap in the sink.
So on pack up day, take out the bag of trash. We just leave it on the outside. It's not full yet, but we're going to be doing more cleaning. We'll inevitably have more stuff to throw in here. I'll just leave this on the floor now. Put a fresh bag in here. Now this is great for glass stuff. And like, I got my bottle of Henny.
Henny.
Yeah, if I'm having like a little sip at night or something like that. And if I've got any other glass, I'll make sure I put a piece of cardboard in here or something. And it just, if something was to happen or break or whatever, it's not gonna cause a spill. So this is like our little travel hack. I don't know if anybody else does this. Certainly you can let us know what your travel hacks are, and we will stow that here. Leave out the bag of trash. It's ready for any additional things to be added to it.
A great tip for your spices, because everybody knows that storage is an issue in an RV, even in an RV this big. 95% of our eating is from cooking in here, and so I like my spices. And I got this magnet board, and these magnet tins, they're awesome. And I just filled those up, labeled them, and I will put the link down below for those because these are fantastic. Never had an issue with this falling at all.
As we have said in previous videos, one of the most wanted items we need is office space, dedicated office space. But until then, this is what we have. This is the original dining table right here. Years ago I added these leaves on here, and so that's why it kind of is like a T-shaped, but we have all of our, you know, YouTube gear, cameras, recording stuff, chargers, GoPros, hard drives, laptops. So this is basically my workstation right here, and this is where my part of the magic happens when we're creating you know, videos and things like that for the business. So I've got to take all of this off here and stow all of these items in bags, and they're going to go back in on the bed.
Welcome to my office. This is actually just a folding table that we will stow behind the couch, and we'll show you how to do that. But this is actually where I work, and when we have dinner, I move everything aside so we can have a place to sit and eat. Another reason why we need office space in an RV.
Got my 2 major gear bags full. All of this stuff will go in the truck with me for traveling, or this will go in the vehicle with Cherie so she can record the Columbus driving around. So I've got an overstuffed bag here with 2 large laptops. The drone, oh, this must be, I don't know, 75 pounds worth of gear. I'm gonna take it into the bedroom. Why don't I leave it back here under the table? Because I can't get to it. So if I see an awesome opportunity to get a drone shot, or I need my laptop, I can get at it if it's on the bed. Just like that. It's gonna ride really nice and safe. Not gonna go anywhere. I'll get this stuff prepped and set on the very edge of the counter back here. So all this right here will go out to vehicles. Oh, I still have coffee left. So that can go in the sink.
This is a great view. The ocean's nice too.
Put our chairs back where they need to go to ride. It's a tight squeeze. They gotta go snug up this way. Take my chair and swing it around. This little leaf right here extends the table, swings down like that. That's gotta drop down, so I'll turn my chair just a little bit more, because this whole area will be gone when I bring this slide in. It'll come smack up to here. So this all has to be clear. And since we're right here, I'm gonna go ahead and place our shoe boxes right here. This is something Cherie created right here. Works really well for shoes. And we'll just take these and place them underneath here, just like that. And those will be fine. You want those out?
Yes, I'm wearing them.
Okay.
So in your RV, you'll probably find nice little knick-knack areas to store your stuff, but we found that for my computers, we have like this little, I guess it's supposed to be some kind of desk, and wow, it's dusty in there. But this is where we don't ever use it. This is the only thing we use it for. We just stow the computers in there. They fit perfectly, and I love that. And it slides in, keeps those really safe. So another place that we stow our stuff away for safety until we get to our next spot is just on the sofa, because everything stays over here pretty good. So I have these little containers right here that I use to stow a few little things to keep it looking decent and it's convenient. And this little end table is so inconvenient when you're sitting here and you want to put a glass down. It's down here, so it's really, I don't know why they designed it like this. So I like to keep these up here so it's easier to put a glass down. Something little, whatever. And you can't leave anything over here either. So we get everything out because this slide will be coming in, and anything that gets caught back here, we won't be able to see it when we walk into the RV to put the slides back out. So we have to make sure everything is moved from this area, including my ukulele.
Why don't you play us something, Cherie?
Yeah, really? I'm learning.
Sounds awesome.
Thanks. Make sure everything's unplugged. All the cords are going to be just stowed up here. I do need a case for my ukulele because I don't want it to get messed up, so I need to find a good place for that. Cords need a place. Goes over here. This will probably go on the floor. We've got loose items here that we'll just stow away in a drawer because we can't leave them out. And then we take this table and we stow it away back behind the what do you call it? Theater seating.
Yes.
The good quality RV theater seating. Should we show them the good quality of this RV theater seating? We don't recommend these at all. Yeah, this is what happens with
Coming
cheap,
apart.
Yeah, so it's really time for a new RV. If not, that's getting replaced.
So this right here just goes back behind here magically. It's a great great spot to stash that. Just like that, it rides safe and out of the way.
We'll take this blanket right here, open it up, and just kind of use it as a reinforcement. How much it would work, I don't know, but we just kind of drape it like that.
So what happens then if something wants to go forward, it kind of stops stuff from coming this way. And as we've mentioned many times, stuff goes this direction. It doesn't go that direction or that direction or that direction generally.
One thing we do right before we bring the slides in is we sweep. These right here, it'll all come in, and if there's any kind of debris that's hard, I mean, even sometimes when we cook quinoa and those little pieces dry up, if they fall to the ground, they're hard like little pebbles, and you don't want it scratching up your floor, getting caught. And we find a lot of rocks for some reason. It's so weird. So, because I feel like we sweep in here every day. So this is our cool broom. Do you see how effective this is? It's awesome. It's time for a new broom.
I think
we can't afford a broom.
I think that came with the RV, didn't it?
Are you serious?
No.
Well, it's where we stow it. It gets stuffed down in there and that happens. But it's still working, so we're still using it. And I do want a new broom. So I'm going to sweep everything before we bring the slides in.
One last thing is we need to bring the kayaks in. This is new to what we used to do by keeping the kayaks on the back of the RV, and it's actually an easier solution. First, I'm going to lay out a blanket and get some towels ready. Towels will protect the cabinets and the fireplace. I'll lay this blanket on the floor to protect the floor. Wow, these things are like, they're like charcoal briquettes or something. They are hot. All right, so this is ready to go for us to bring slides in, and it actually rides really nice this way. So bring the rest of the shades down.
Goodbye, view.
Oh yeah, that beautiful view out there. On to other beautiful views. Time to bring the awning in. Now, before we bring in the slides, we need to apply some slide lube to keep them working really smoothly. This was recommended to me by a repair person, CRC Power Lube. We will definitely include a link to Amazon on this stuff. It's not very expensive, but the slides run so much better. So I'm just gonna run around the RV. I'll show you all the spots that we put the lube into. And we've got all the slide mechanisms here, so I'm just going to shoot some up in there and right along the gears here, just like so. Got a little bit of rust in there from all this salt air and the Minnesota salt when I've had the RV up there in the wintertime, which is not always fun. So we've got another gear right here. We'll spray that down like that. And also this piece right here, I don't remember what it's called, but we'll spray that just like that.
It smells like licorice.
Yeah, probably the fumes aren't the best. On the rear jacks here, we'll apply a little lube to these points right here, the parts that bend. Gosh, we're gonna want to get in that water before we go.
Serious.
So we got another slide here, the entertainment slide. I'm gonna hit the gears right there and go along here. Spray those gears. So basically I will work all the way around the RV with this. And I also do it on the front jacks right here. All the way around. So next that all the slide lube is applied, we're gonna bring those slides in. Before I bring in the slides, what I'm gonna do is turn off the air conditioning unit. That way I can hear everything that's going on. You don't want anything to get caught in the slide as we are bringing them in. All right, bringing it in. Okay, bedroom slides next.
All right, I'm ready. Yep, everything's good.
All right, you want to come around to the big one?
I'm already here.
Because this is not a full hookup site, it's partial hookups. We have water and electric here only. That means we will be using the dump station, but we did record a full hookup breakdown. Just the sewer part, we'll cut to that right now because that would be the next step. So just to let you guys know, what we did inside was to run extra water into the kitchen sink and into the bathroom sink to put a few extra gallons into the both gray tanks. So what I'm going to do now is flush get our handy little gloves on here, and we're going to flush the black tank. You know, everybody's favorite part. I think what I'll do is I'll put one glove on and use one glove as a barrier because I'm going to need a free hand to touch a couple things and make sure it's clean. So before I pull the trigger, so to speak, on the black tank, I just like to look and make sure everything looks proper. Before I do that, is go ahead and pull the release on the black tank. And again, that's going to look different. Then you're going to hear the sound. One thing I don't have is my clear elbow on here, and I'll show that separately, but that elbow would show if there's fluid still going, but I can clearly, so to speak, hear that the fluid is still coming through, and I'll listen for it. Oh, it's starting to let up.
It's a lot of pee and poo.
So we weren't here that long, and so the black tank isn't completely full. So we're gonna race inside, and I'm gonna send through several bowlfuls of water to flush that through before I wash it through with the gray water. I'm gonna fill this up a few times. I like to send through at least 3 or 4 tanks of water through that. That helps to flush that out. And some people do more. There's a connection out there that you can actually spray the inside of your black tank, and I do that once in a while. I don't do that every time, so you can be more thorough if you want to be. There, now let's head back outside. It's still draining, so before I close the black one, I'm going to go ahead and open the gray to help wash that through. So then there'll be more water coming through, help wash all of the bad stuff through. Then I'm going to run over here, and I'm going to pull the kitchen. And the kitchen will also help wash all of that down. I'll listen for that to get flushed all the way. Since we are running up on our time limit, I'm going to go ahead and close these. There's a little bit of a dribble there, but the next park we're going to does not have full hookups, so we're going to be using a dump station. What I'll go ahead and do, we'll close the black tank first, and we'll leave the gray tank to keep flooding through. We're going to jump back inside, and I'll show you what we're going to do next. Now that everything's been flushed out, we can't leave the tank dry because That'll potentially cause some hardening of some of the debris that's in there. And
debris? What is debris?
You know, the leftovers that
the chunks
in there. Yeah. So you want to put, they say, about 5 gallons of water in there. And I actually don't typically put that much in there. I'll usually put a full bowl down in there, because as we travel, that'll slosh around and keep it the way it needs to be down in there. There's our full thing right there. So that's set. Now all we have to do is close the gray valves and pack up the hose.
Did you touch the toilet seat with that hand or that hand?
This hand. Don't get these hands confused.
No.
Is this like Michael Jackson?
Yeah.
Woo! Woo!
That's not how he does it.
Oh.
Beat it, Tom. Just beat it.
All right, back out here, and I'm going for a listen this time. Since I don't have the clear elbow on there, but I don't hear any more dribble, so we're gonna close that gray tank, and we are going to come on over here and close this gray tank right here. So that now it's time to go ahead and put on the other glove, because I'm gonna need both gloves now.
No more Michael Jackson?
No more Michael Jackson.
Can you just do a quick little ooh? Ooh. That's funny.
What I'm gonna do is having the sewer hose holder support here, I don't know what it's technically called. I lift this up, you can tell there's no fluid in there now. So had I not used this could fill up, and I'd have to pull this up and kind of manually drain it. So now I'm free to pop this off. There's
Dribble.
a little bit of dribble there, but that's to be expected. I'm just gonna take that cap and quickly stick it on there. And then from here, I'm just gonna do this. There's a little bit of liquid in there. Carefully drain that out. I'm gonna pick up this end so it doesn't
come out
that other end there. And this is all kitchen water. So that is drained, and it's been flushed with clean soapy water from the dishes and from the washing our hands, and extra water in there. So now free to disconnect this. A little bit of soapy water dribbling there. Put that cap on. Time to disconnect these. And the support, like so. These two go in the back bumper. And if you haven't seen part 1 where we do a complete setup, you might want to stop this video and actually go back and watch that. This will make more sense.
Oh, so it's the
what I'm doing
it's
here.
The gray tubing that goes back there? I thought it was poopy.
The hoses are interchangeable. It's whatever you decide to do.
You mix them up?
Yeah.
Oh, gross.
It's just whatever is necessary. Sometimes those are a little stubborn to get on. We'll run around the other side. And actually our setup video was done here at this park, so you'll recognize the location. I am kind of careful when I do that. Don't be too quick, because the water can whip up and hit you. So you don't want any of that water to hit you, especially if you're, well...
Do you want leaves stuck in there?
Why not? All right, now we just finish packing up and put this stuff away, and we are ready to go. Next, it's time for the power. Before you disconnect from your RV, you want to come up here and turn off the breaker. It's a 50 amp breaker right there. We're going to turn that off so there's no more power to the RV. Unplug the power cord, And there will be links to all of these items in the Amazon store. We've got our surge protector. Highly recommend that. We disconnect from the RV, simply a twist to the left, and then it pulls out, the cap locks down just like that. Get this rolled up. Have that ready to stow. So next we are going to disconnect the water. Actually, I better shut the water off first before I do anything else. This is kind of a weird site. The business side of the RV is right here, but look where our water is. And here's a reason why you'd want to have more than one water hose. You want to have extra water hose for a crazy length like this. If you look way over there, you can see how far away the RV is away from the water connection. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off, and I'll just go ahead and disconnect it here. Let some of that extra water out and get sprayed. Go ahead and separate these hoses. So have 2 or 3 freshwater hoses. There will be a link below in our Amazon store for these. You can find links to all of the items and more that we talk about in this video by going to our Amazon store. The link will be below in the description for this video. And on our page, you will find our RV Living Campsite Setup Basics. And you can order any of these items or do all of your Amazon shopping. Easily save our link to your computer for future orders, and be sure to share that with your friends because that does help support the channel. So inside the outside control center, we're just going to unscrew from our 90-degree water hose saver right here and pull it through the bottom. This is how this RV works. And put the plug in right there, and nothing else we have to worry about in here until we go to the dump station. Don't want water coming out of the hoses while we have them inside, so I'll hold them up in the air as I roll them so it drains out the other end. All right, next it's time to bring up the rear jacks. Ordinarily, this would be a really easy process, but this has not worked. The electric jacks have not worked for a while, and I could put an electric drill bit on here and bring these up really easily. This could look a lot of different ways depending on the kind of RV you have, but I don't mind the workout doing this, so not a huge deal. Let's go ahead and bring it up. And we'll pick up our little Lego pieces. These are available on Amazon. Great for leveling the RV and also for placing underneath jacks to provide more stability. They come in a handy little carrying bag just like that. One of the things that I did this time was to stay connected, completely connected to the truck. This was a short stay. We get additional stability on this. So one of the steps that you're not going to see is me connecting the truck back up. But if I can, we'll try to take that from another campsite video and stick it in here. And so I'm going to show you what that would look like at a different campsite, me hooking up the truck. So here's the alternative if you are completely disconnected from the RV, and we're going to go ahead and reconnect the truck. So like before, in our other video, the complete campsite setup, we're going to unstow the cables from up inside here, take out the safety brake, let those cords just dangle for the moment. and I'm gonna back up the truck first, and I'll bring the hitch up to about right here to see if I need to adjust the height of this to connect, because depending on what kind of leveling I was doing, I could have gone higher with the RV on this end or lower. I got a little closer there than I wanted to, but you know, that looks pretty good. You want the RV to be just a little bit lower than this. You want it to kind of be snug. You don't want the opposite going on here. So I'm going to go ahead and back all the way up. Right here is the Glad arm somebody pointed out in the previous video, and you want that to go in and locks the kingpin in place, and that way you're secure for the road. And so I'm going to go ahead and back all the way up. This is good. Got the Glad arm is all the way in, just what we want. Now what we're going to do is something called a safety tug. I'm just going to pull forward to make sure that this is locked into place. Just a very slight pull forward. I also want to note, as soon as I hook up the RV, I do set the emergency brake for extra safety. So now what we're going to do from here is go ahead and make the connections, the electrical and the safety brake. Got our little tiny lock here. Grab the safety cable, goes around the Glad arm here. I don't know why it's called the Glad arm. I guess because you're glad it pulls out or goes in. And this is not like a security lock. It really is just to make sure this doesn't slip off. And as we've mentioned in previous videos, this is if something goes wrong here and your trailer comes off, it's gonna pop this thing out, which I can't even pull out now. But it gets activated once there's electrical to this, and it will immediately lock up the brakes so that your RV doesn't keep coasting down the road, that it actually locks up and flips over and goes in the ditch somewhere. I don't know what it does. It won't be good either way, but it's supposedly safer. So you hope that never ever happens, but that's what that's for. So now we're going to connect up the electrical to the truck. Mine is right here inside the bed. Depending on what kind of hitch you have or truck, it could be in a lot of different areas. And this has a little safety thing on it so it won't just pop out. Make sure it's nice and snug. Get the cord in all the way, and now we can go ahead and raise the tailgate. But since we are already hooked up right now, we're going to go ahead and remove the safety chocks. Simple safety chocks put on the inside of the tires. You could use these a lot of different ways depending on your RV. We have two of these, one for each side, or two for each side. So now that we have chocks are out and the rear jacks are up, truck is already connected. As I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and drop the RV back. And what I did do when we came in is I did deploy the front jacks. What we're going to do is bring these up because I lifted them just a little bit for stability. Now, because you got to be really careful doing this. This is not something like you can raise this several inches or you're going to damage your hitch or your truck or a whole bunch of things. So I just raised it just to give some tension here to get that stability, and it actually helped to level it just a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and raise that up. We're gonna raise the jacks, therefore dropping the RV onto the truck. Dropping's not a good word. We'll think of a different word.
Lowering?
Yes, lower. About an inch left on this. This doesn't come all the way up here because we've got these pins. This is completely free. These can come out now. It's completely resting on the truck now. Pull the pin, that comes up. Your front jacks or single jack, if it's just a travel trailer, could look completely different than these do. So that is up. More leveling blocks. You can see how handy these are. And we even have more of these, which I will show shortly. Boy, it's hot out here.
Only 100 degrees?
I'm sweating up a storm. We are just about ready to get out of here. We're gonna do our final check around. And as we walk this way, we're gonna look up and make sure nothing is too unusual. Got a little branch touching up there. And we've got our leveling blocks here. What I'll be doing is initially pulling forward a couple of feet, and Cherie is gonna pull these out. Then we'll finish packing up all of our stuff. So that's what's still here, so we're not gonna drive off and leave those. So remember that step. We're gonna say goodbye to this beautiful view right here, but we will be back. Double check that Cherie's bike is on here tight enough. It is locked up. Many bungee cords holding that down. And double checking, rear jacks again are up. We've got no blocks on this side. This looks good up here. And one of the things I need to do since I disconnected the power is to go ahead and check on the propane on the refrigerator to make sure that it is working. So there we go. It is a little warm, 39 degrees, but I actually had the cover on all night long on the refrigerator because there was some rain out there. That's why it's a little warmer than we would like it to be. And we just put our stuff, the last few things to go out to the car right here and start shutting lights off. And then so we're going to go ahead and load up the vehicles and then pull forward and head over to the dump station. And before we start moving toward the dump station, we're going to want to make sure that everything's buttoned up here. A little final check. Take a look in the bedroom. Bathroom is closed. Like to take a quick look. Refrigerator's tight. Take a look back here at the rest of it. Everything looks good. No outstanding issues. All the items that ride on the floor look good. So we will got our walkie-talkies. These are a must. We'll have they're a little close right now, so we'll get that squeal. And these are a must to have a nice smooth back in or pull out. So
May the 4th be with you.
yes. So we're going to do our close up right now. I'm not going to lock this because we'll be getting in here, but I will close that way. It's a good way to ride with your handle turned in, just in case you forget and don't latch that all the way. You don't want this flying out on the road. I actually used to travel with it like that for the longest time until somebody said to turn it that way. We're going to raise the stairs before we move it, and we have this until we get the proper RV stairs, hopefully on a new rig and not updating this one. We just have a brick to make it a little bit easier for that first step. We won't put a link on this on Amazon. I don't think they would ship this via Prime, free 2-day Prime for a nice heavy brick.
All right, you're good.
All right, time to head to the dump station. We are at the dump station right here, and this is common for most campgrounds, that don't have full hookups, that there will be a dump station like this with a sewer connection that you can dump all of the things that you don't want to take along on the road with you. It's important to empty your tanks and be as light as possible. That does help increase your fuel efficiency traveling on the road, and you just no reason to take that extra with you. So blue gloves right here. This is Cherie favorite part. You're not going to gag this time, are you?
I hope not.
Gosh, we got the smell from that sargassum weed already.
I know.
We probably won't even notice the sewer smell.
Oh, I don't know about that.
So where this is different from a campsite with full hookups, I'm only going to bring out one sewer hose, and because we have both a kitchen gray tank and we've got our regular main gray tank and black tank release right here, I am going to connect one hose right here and then dump all of that, and then I'm going to pull up a little bit and we're going to go ahead and dump the kitchen. There's no reason to do all of that elaborate setup that you saw before, because we're just doing this quickly at the dump station. Let's go ahead and get one hose. And the Rangers are so friendly here. It's awesome. So if you ever come here to Bahia Honda or any of the state parks in the Florida Keys, ignore that sewer hose while I'm saying cool stuff. They're really friendly to talk to and are full of information. So all we need is the one hose. So the one length of hose is all we need to make this jump here. Actually, let's turn it that way. Got our little 90-degree sewer connection that we will connect that to. Oh, this is nice. We just pull that up like that, place that down in there, flop that over so that doesn't go anywhere. Just a little precaution here. Before I open up that sewer cap right there, I am going to make sure that the valves are closed. I know they are, but it's just a good habit. And I'll just pull out an extra glove here to open this so these stay clean. We'll just take a look right here. Get those old gloves out of the way. And both of these tanks are pushed in. We've got black tank and our gray tank right there. They're both locked in, so we will not worry about that. So that's in the right spot. Time to connect this up. There might be a little bit of dribble in there. I'm going to carefully hold this under here and just do that. So the little bit of dribble that comes out like that just goes right in there, and then we put that on and almost no drips come out. So now we are fully connected. And if I was taking the time, we do have a clear hose elbow on here. Cherie, you'd love that, right?
No.
You'd love to see the contents coming out of here. That can help you to know when it's completely flushed. It's a little grody. We'll put a link to that down in the description and in our Amazon store. I'll use that when Cherie isn't watching. How about that? So now we're gonna release the black tank, the dreaded black tank. So Cherie, you gonna hold your nose on this one?
Yes.
Black tank release is right here. And there it goes. You can see the hose moving. I don't know if you can hear all the liquid coming out. You know, this is one of people's most dreaded parts of RVing. I don't think it's that bad. I'm just gonna listen for the liquid, all the waste to slow down. I need to send some fresh water through to flush the black tank out, and I need to add a little bit of fresh water to the black tank. The important thing with this water hose, this is water not safe for drinking. The important thing with this water at the dump station, this you do not add to your fresh water tank. And I think I'll jump in here really quick to say that I disconnected the water from the campsite and added none to our freshwater tank. And a lot of people will do that, but we are going not very far down the road where we have another campsite that has water and electric, so we're not going to put anything in our freshwater tank. It's just not necessary. So, but you would not want to fill up your freshwater tank here. You would do that back at your campsite. Or if you are at a dump station, they would probably have another faucet a little farther away, and that would be the drinking water. But this is only going to be to flush our toilet. Add some water to the toilet and flush a little bit through. Got a bucket of water here. So while that's still draining, I'm going to run inside and dump that down into the toilet. So we're going to dump that in there. That's going to further flush any debris from the black tank down in. I'm going to do this another couple, 3 times that we won't record, and then I'm just going to add some fresh water to the tank. So as it starts to get to a dribble, we're going to go ahead and release the gray tank, and that's going to flush all of that black tank matter out of there. And it's a good idea to always save up some in your gray tanks to flush. So even if you have them open, if you're on full hookups for weeks at a time, you're going to want to close those tanks like for the final day. Don't have them closed if you're doing laundry, that would be bad. But just like a quick shower or 2 or doing dishes, you want to add some cleaner soapy gray water to your gray tanks, and that's what we're going to flush out our hoses with after the black tank is done draining. It's pretty much done draining, so I'm going to go ahead and release the gray tank. Let's go ahead and release the gray tank. And there's all of our shower water and bathroom sink water coming through. Oh, I'm glad for a little bit of shade. Sheesh. You want to plan plenty of time for this whole pack-up process. You don't want to forget anything. That's why we're going to provide a checklist. And like I'm thinking about the things that we need to do. We still need to check the tire pressures all the way around before we get on the road to be safe. And like this process right here, it could be easy for another RVer or camper to walk up to you and start a conversation. You just want to be very present when you are dealing with various aspects of packing up your RV, and especially at the dump station, because if you get in a conversation, you get distracted, you might do something and you could all of a sudden have a big spill, and nobody wants to have a spill. That'd be kind of embarrassing. So before we close the gray and black tanks on the front here, it's still dribbling just a little bit. Just lift the hose up, help it to drain through a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and close them up. Go ahead and close the black tank first. And now the gray tank. And what I'll do is I'll head inside and just add a little bit of water for traveling. You don't want that to be dry. You want to add several gallons, up to 5 gallons of water in there, so that it keeps your black tank in good shape. Since I have closed the black tank valve out there, all of this water is going to go in to the black tank just to ride around and keep everything like it should. Whoops.
What are you whoopsing about?
Nothing.
Oh, really? You doing gross stuff?
No, of course not.
I'm getting poopy water everywhere.
Then you always want to have a little bit like that in the bottom of your toilet. That keeps any vapors from coming up. Since our tanks are empty and we don't have a hose connected to the RV, we can't just add water by flushing. So leave a little bit of water in the bottom. And this is the moment if you want to use any products. There's some aftermarket products if you want to put down in the tank to help keep it fresh. We do sometimes, we don't all the time. And it just depends on what you believe in. There's people on one side that say it doesn't work, and there's other people that say it does. We don't have any issues with our black tank not using product every time. Here's an example of product you can get at Amazon. We'll look for a link. And oh, I've just got one left, it looks like, right here. And we'll just take that, open up the flap, drop it right down in there, and that supposedly helps keep the tank fresh and all of that good stuff. So like I said, we don't necessarily use that all of the time. Let us know what you do if you're already RVing, what kind of product you use, what's your favorite, pros and cons, or don't use it, it's a waste of money. Let us know in the comments. I'll carefully drop this with the back side of my glove. And actually, we are all set in here. So now that we're done with gray 1 and gray 2 in the front side of the RV, and the valves are closed, we're gonna go ahead and disconnect this right here. There's a few little dribbles right there. We'll hold this down there, pop on the cap, and there we get no leakage right there. What I can do is try to make this connection or pull the truck up, but I'd have to take these gloves off, pull the truck up, make this connection. So I'm just gonna either stretch this hose or add hose to get to the back tank here. There, I think we can make it work. It's a little bit of a stretch. You just don't want to do this too much or that hose could come flying up out of that tank, and that wouldn't be very pretty. So making sure again that the kitchen tank release is pushed all the way in. And we're gonna hold this here the best I can. This is kind of a stretch here. It's gonna be kind of tight. You got a little bit of dribble coming out. It's not too bad. Yeah, I just want to be careful with this because pulling on it too tight, you can damage your hose. But we're definitely getting to the length limits of our hose here. So now we're going to go ahead and release the kitchen.
Oh, you sprung a leak.
Well, there we go. I guess that's why you don't want to stretch your hose that far.
Gross.
Can you fix that, honey?
No.
I'm going to go ahead and hold that right there. Now, what's important to know, I'm not spilling sewer water right now. This is all kitchen wash water right now. This is all gray water, and it is illegal in most places to dump gray water on purpose. Now at a dump station, a few little drops here and there are going to happen, but I'm going to hold this right here. And this hose isn't that old, so I guess you could say I stretched it too far, or you could say it was a cheap hose from Walmart. I don't know. I mean, your hose is made to stretch, isn't it? So we're getting near the end of what's in there, but I don't have the sewer hose support here, and you don't need to pull that out for the dump station. But lift it up to make sure all of it drains out. So now all that soapy water is flushed out, all the other water. I'm going to go ahead and close this valve. Give it a couple of seconds for any last dribbles to come all the way through the hose before I open it up. And then, yeah, just a little bit of soapy water coming through there. Put the cap back on. And it's important to note that you cannot legally forget a cap and leave it hanging down. If you leave one of these off and a cop sees this, especially any water dribbling out, you're gonna get a ticket. So remember the caps. So I'll hold the hose way up here just to get any last bits out of there. Go ahead and pull this out, close that up. Gonna pop that off and stick this back in the back bumper. I like to be careful placing it in the bumper. If you whip this out, you might get some droplets coming out. You don't want that landing on you. Sewer caps. Make sure these are on really good. They do pop off. And you probably have seen these on the road where you'll actually see someone's sewer hose along the road because it got away from them. On the road, when I don't have my blue gloves, I use my shoe to kick it in. And we are done. One more check inside. Lots of double checks on things, and I don't think you can check enough. Well, get the bathroom door here. Just take a peek. All of that looks good, but don't want the bathroom door flopping around while you're driving. So make sure that's nice and tight. And now we can actually lock up. Lock it up nice and tight for the road. Cross that bar over. Lift up the stairs. Yeah, we are just about ready for the road. So the last thing that I'm gonna do before we get on the road is run around and check all the tire pressures. And we've had it recommended that we get a TPMS system, which is a great system to have, and we want one of those. It just hasn't quite made the purchase yet, hasn't made the budget yet. We will link to in our Amazon store the one that's been recommended for us. But I'm gonna run around and just check all the tire pressures. And for those of you that know we have had tire issues, we will link to that below, our tire video where we had multiple blowouts and lots of problems. But ever since we switched to the Salins, they've been amazing, much better tire, but we still do practice safe traveling by checking our tire pressures. That's good. G-rated tire. We are running at 102 pounds of pressure. We're not at the maximum, but it's been recommended that I don't run it at the maximum of 110 cold. And your tires should be kept really equal. If they were off by more than 2 pounds per tire, I would definitely refill them. But I'm not a tire expert, so you RV experts, if you want to go ahead and let us know what you think. Again, Salin G-rated tires. Been a lifesaver. I'm gonna check the truck tires as well. These are E-rated, right at 80 pounds of pressure, which is where I want it. I'll need both hands to check those dualies. 80 pounds on the outside. And then we'll go to the inside tires. I do recommend a dually for a heavy fifth wheel. A lot of people doing with the singles, but for safety and stability, it's definitely recommended. I know it's a more expensive truck. I think it's worth it. All right, tire stuff's done. And out of an abundance of caution, do one more look over it. Make sure it all looks good. I check on my follow car. I love you.
I love you.
Ready to get going?
Yep.
You all good?
Yep.
Okay. Everything looks good here. Check that I locked that up. Make sure we're good. I wanted to add that the propane controls are right here. We had someone on our previous video actually wonder how you turn on your propane. Some travel trailers have it, the canisters on the hitch in the front, and motorhomes, I don't know where you guys keep your propane. I think it's a large built-in tank, but we have these small cylinders. I can pull them off and take them to Walmart or have them refilled or whatever, but we actually have 3 tanks, and you just turn them off and on right here, and ours just slide right back for safekeeping. So it's not a bad system, probably better in a motorhome. So I did want to make a note that we do travel with the propane on and the refrigerator going, because it's already in the upper 30s right now. We are we don't have too far to go, and I'm not going to be filling up at a gas station. And for newbies out there that don't know what the controversy is all about, is safety concerns about traveling with your propane on either on the road or going at the fill up at gas stations and having that open flame in your refrigerator going. And I agree that there's concerns, and so what I've tried to do is not fill up at any diesel stations. We have plenty of fuel before we get to our next campsite. We will not be doing that, but because the refrigerator is in the upper 30s right now, it's running a little bit warm, and the heat index is in the 90s, we're not going to disconnect that. So we want to know what you think about this on both sides, if it's an absolute shut off propane when you travel, or if it's not a big deal, or only shut it off before you go into a gas station. Let us know what you think, as well as on the entire breakdown and how you would do it differently. Maybe your RV is different. Let us know if you have a motorhome, how it's different, or a travel trailer that's, you know, not a fifth wheel, how that setup would be different. We appreciate that. If you want our checklist, again, all you have to do is click up here for the link to sign up for our email newsletter, and we will attach a PDF with the complete checklist. And we've got some other free stuff that you will get as well by being on our email list. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and make sure you share it with your RV friends. Thank you so much for watching. Click right here if you'd like to see our complete setup video. That's the companion video to this one. And again, if you want more of our videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there and ding that little bell, and you'll be notified when we release a brand new video. Back on the road to the next camp spot. Look at that pine tree right there. Yeah, palm tree. Big difference, pine trees and palm trees. All right.
Look, we each have a copy. Oh, look, we both have a copy to read.
Yeah.
Ant bait thing, we're just gonna kick. Ant bait thing, kick. We're gonna, there we go. So, all right, there's an ant. Why is there? Okay, so so as we.
All right. I didn't snap my pants. I have to keep pulling up my pants. So.
Why? Are you losing weight?
Maybe I didn't snap that.
So I will put that down here below. Except not yet, because there's no room. Where can I put this? Where can I put this? There's no room anywhere. How about we'll just stick it in here? Okay.
And this magically goes behind here. It actually is really nice how this works. It's the perfect place to stash this. You see how magically it goes back there?
It's magic.
Yeah, we just ride with it like that. What did I do differently? Maybe
To pee your pants.
This is one time when a dry hose is a good thing.
You can cut that out. That's not good.
Hard to get it on with my hands are so sweaty. It's so hot out here. You like my Michael Jackson?
Can you look at the camera while you're doing that? Not smiling, like you're straining. No, that looks like you're smiling. Your strain and your smile are the same?
I can't do any better than that.
Okay, no, not that. Oof!
You got a whiff?
Oof! Oh, I can't. How do you handle that smell? I don't understand.
I don't think about it. Well, there's a lot of shit in there.
Do you
I dry my face right now.
Let's get out of here.
I need something to eat.
Yeah, I do too.
How can I eat with these gloves on? Have a snack when you got blue gloves on. Oh, how? Thanks, honey.
You're welcome. Here's a little blood sugar. Gotta keep them operating, right?
Any debris chocolate? Mm-mm. And if you like helicopters, listen. Helicopter. Wow.
It's disgusting. Oh, and it smells.
I'm moving quick.
I'm right behind you.
All right.
How come it's not filling up?
I probably have it pressed a little too much. Come on, work with me, toilet. I don't feel like I'm pressing it too much.
You need a lighter touch. Women say that all the time. That's what she said.
So what I'll do is I'll wait for all of that to...
Downwind.
So what I'll do is I'll wait for all of that. You're gonna make me laugh. Cherie's never gonna volunteer to record again.
No! Because who says emptying a black tank isn't fun?
Right. Am I using the clean glove or the dirty glove?
I don't know. Are you confused?
No.